Welcome to part two. We're joined by Terry Chappendama from London. Women loving men want to be him. Anybody who wants to do a Zoom in the month of November, but leading up to it, you'll have to come on at least once this month. There's a £100 reward or £100 congratulations bounty or whatever they call it. £100 prize in cash for the winner, and that's from my pal Gary. So that's out in his own pocket. All right. That's for November. Ask Terry now. Where is Joe Cordina? Where's little Joe Cordina? All quiet on the Western Front. Yeah. So I don't know where Terry is. Women loving men want to beat him. Just give him a message. Here we are. Yeah, before we start on the where's Joe Cordina, yeah, it takes a different type of person to go through firefighting. Like Teddy Atlas says, are we firefighters? You know, like when he summed up Billy Joe Saunders against Canelo, was Billy a firefighter on that night? No, because he'd not been in a firefight, had he?
And that I say this a lot, and people don't really understand what I mean when I say this. That sort of stuff is a skill in its own right. Like, people assume you just become tough or you're born tough. You're not. There's stuff you'd have gone through in life that makes you resilient. It's like I grew up in a household where if you stepped out of line, you got a belt, right?
Yeah.
And I got to a point in life, Russ, where getting hit like that didn't hurt me anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'd go to school and you'd get the cane at school.
Never.
After a while, that doesn't hurt anymore. You're like, well, I'll take 6 more. And they give you 6 more. You're like, I'll take 6 more. Until in the end, they just give up and go get out. You know what I mean? So when you come to England, like, and they say, look, mate, put the head guard on and spar. It's uncomfortable, yeah, but it doesn't hurt in the sense that it's scary. It's just something you got to get through. And you always say to yourself, I'm going to wake up tomorrow in my own bed. So it is what it is. Let's crack on.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. Where is Joe Cordina, and why has none of these media platforms been and put him on their platforms to ask him, A, why he's left Slow Tony, his trainer, and B, why he's left Matchroom, and C, what next for Joe Cordina, who's going to train him, that's D, and who's going to be the promotional outfit is going to be with. Nothing's been asked about this. Do you know why?
So one answer is he'll train with Ben Davison. I think he's there already. That's answer to the first question. Who he will box with? Uncle Frank will decide that. So either Uncle Frank will keep him on, but who's Frank got at that weight that's of any interest?
Uncle Frank will keep him on. He's been with Eddie Hills all his pro career.
Yeah, but the gravy train is the one Frank controls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Frank will go, right. Because he might say, look, I can have him here. You know what I mean? Blow Nick Ball up to fight Cordina at some point. You could do at 130. I mean, Frank could keep him and say, Eddie, you bring Shakur to the table. I'll bring Joe, and I'll get some money off Joe. I'll get that 550K you're getting. You know, there'll be some horse trading between all those promoters around where Cordina goes.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting that. And I just feel that some media outfits like IFL or Boxing Social or the Stomping Ground would be queuing up to get him on the channel to ask him what's going on. I just can't understand why not.
He doesn't do views.
Yeah, we know he doesn't do views, but into a two-time world champion that's left Matchroom, you know.
Yeah.
How is it not a story that? You know what I mean? Or don't they want him to tell the truth about what happened?
Well, that's what you do, Russ. You tell the truth about what happened.
Yeah, I do. And sometimes telling the truth don't get you nowhere, does it?
and that's why they don't do it.
Yeah, I was just saying the control bike media. I just think it's a great story. I've got pals, sportsmen who I know from Wales who are telling me a few bits and bobs, and I'm just surprised that Cordina's not come out and spoke himself yet. You know, he don't want to spoil his chances, maybe, do you think?
There's too much money at stake. He knows he's closer to the end than the beginning. So he's there going, look, I need to get on the Saudi gravy train. If I get the Shakur fight again, cool. If not, get me in with Tank, get me in with someone. That's what Cordina should be thinking right now.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Did you watch Big Ron's America versus USA show?
Nah. Um, that's not how I want to see Dennis.
Yeah.
Like like if I'd been around at the time, I would never have watched Ali versus Burbick.
No.
No, I wouldn't have watched it because it's not how I wanted to see someone who should be a part of boxing history. That's not how they should go out. Like if Dennis is going to do a UK versus America, it should be stronger than that. He's got deeper roots in the sport than the names we saw over the weekend.
I know. Some of them kids that have been fighting for brass tacks, you know, just for the experience and all that, and they sold the dream, aren't they? And I didn't watch it. I've seen highlights this morning. I watched one at fights with Mason. Who was it? He got put on button moon, didn't he? Mason Dickinson or something, or Dixon or something, whatever it's called. But
Mason the Line Dixon.
yeah, from UK, he got launched and onto a satellite up on button moon. Uh, I don't know. And I could hear Spencer Oliver, old Juggies, and Roy Jones, Superman, uh, basically polishing a turd with commentary. And I thought, do you know what? It looked a good setup, a good production, and all that, but the cards were utter poor, poor. But the pool's dry now, isn't it? I mean, have you seen some of these shows that are coming out now in UK? The lowest ever box rec rankings ever. Eddie's just had two out of the last three UK shows, his lowest in his lifetime, going back to when he first started out at Ponsford, Sheffield, you know, with Kell Brook and Richard Towers and them. Do you remember back in the day?
Yeah.
And I just think that everybody's parked up waiting for the Saudi lottery. Do you think?
No, I think we've got massive problems in this country, Russ.
Yeah.
So a lot of the experienced amateur coaches are stepping away. They don't like where boxing's going. They don't like all this white collar stuff. They don't like all this misfit stuff. And they don't like the fact that no one's standing up for doing boxing the right way. What doesn't get talked about, Russ, is a number of people getting brain injuries from white collar bouts. Yeah. People are now getting brain injuries from white collar bouts. People are getting concussion related injuries from white collar bouts. And this is happening because people don't get taught how to defend themselves. They go on these stupid 8-week courses. And in those 8-week courses, you learn how to windmill and just throw big hooks, right?
Yeah.
You don't learn to defend yourself. So you're taking all these shots flush, trying to out-tough someone. Get back to your changing room. You wonder why you're seeing bright lights everywhere. Before you know it, you collapse and you're in an ambulance. All of this stuff is contributing to a culture and a climate where the standard of boxing coaching is dropping. So the standard of boxers is dropping. So when you're looking around now at some of these small shows, there are kids coming on that might have fought 6 or 7 times as amateurs, and you're like, what was his record? Oh, he won 1, lost 5. Like, oh God. And they're all coming in, and promoters are telling you that these are good kids and good prospects and they've got a future. They haven't. They're not very good. A lot of people you see on these shows are not very good. That's why I can't justify people supporting these shows by buying tickets. A lot of them are trash. The only guy I've ever seen outside of like the big name promoters that's done a card rush where it was talented from top to bottom in terms of well-schooled kids, Carl Greaves.
Yeah, you know what? Carl Greaves, he's one of the unsung heroes, you know, at Small Hall. Carl Greaves, been churning them out years, shows. And he never seems to get his moment, does he? He never seemed to see me a big TV deal or anything like that, do we?
No, but if you were going to give someone a slot on GBM, it should have been Carl Greaves. And
Yeah.
I would have put money into his shows as well. I said, no, we'll give you some money.
Carl Greaves puts on good shows, right? For what you get good value for money. You know.
Yeah. And you know why?
Right.
Because that's a guy that's been a boxer, a trainer,
A manager,
promoter,
cutman,
matchmaker.
cutman the lot, matchmaker,
Yeah.
cutman the lot. He was matching a couple of years off at Big Boys, wasn't he, Carl?
Yeah. And so he knows how to guide his prospects along. He gets the right fights at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? Women's boxing, Terry. Is it being disrespected at the moment?
No. I think it's look, the queen of women's boxing is pregnant at the moment.
Is what?
So the queen of women's boxing is pregnant at the moment.
Oh, Ebony Bridges.
Yeah. And there's a guy in Sheffield sweating, waiting for the paternity test, right? Allegedly.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna have a
Yeah.
go at me now because I never put him in my short list, aren't you, twat?
A short list of what?
Well, I put a list of possible things and I never put him down, did I?
Dun, 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 dun,
Why don't you just say it, Terry, who it is?
dun, dun, dun,
Eddie. Hello, Bob Eddie. Fuck fans, Eddie. Fuck fans.
well, I don't think it was pop, pop, bang. I think it was bang, pop, pop, wasn't it?
Well, this is how I look at it, right? She came over here and she left a mark, right? And I remember, I'm not going to say a name on here, but some person, let's just say she used to box, said to me, wait while she gets here, all hell will break loose. Now she's caused that much problems, hasn't she? How many bridges with trainers and diva behavior and this and that. I'm this, I'm that, and flirting and God knows what, and all sorts of stuff. And she goes and gets pregnant and she causes more problems than you can imagine.
All I can say about her is there were trainers, people whose names people worship, the hardcores worship. There were trainers and some boxers that were throwing themselves at her, sending like dick pics to Ebony Bridges, right? So they better hope she never talks.
Listen,
You
mate,
know what I mean,
she is, let me tell you this, right? She is absolute poison of the highest order. And she's one of them that you're gonna see. They don't do News at World now, but she's the type to be spread across News at World with every dick picture, every text, every voice text, a lot. She will sink the whole world. She'll be like that Pascano in Casino, or is it Goodfellas? The guy who sunk them all. I think it was Casino, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He sunk everybody. He only had listed everybody who all his debt lists who owed for what. She's basically the Pascano from Casino film with De Niro and Pesci for female boxing. So get ready, absolute get ready, mate.
But look, this is what the advice I give people is this: if you're involved in boxing, do not write anything in private you wouldn't write in public, because what you write in private will be sent to someone. It will come to me at some point. If you're there harassing not just women boxers, but women boxing fans, it always ends up in my inbox because they always say that, Terry, you won't believe what this guy's just sent to me. And normally it's my enemies, right? It's my enemies. And I just sit on the stuff and go, well, whenever they're ready to rumble, man, we'll get it. Do not, I'm telling you now, do not slide in anyone's DMs. I don't. I never do. Like I'm happy to show anyone my DMs because there's nothing sexual in my DMs. I'm not stupid, mate.
There's a few sweating.
Yeah, yeah.
Quite rightly so if they've got a bird at home.
Yeah. They should have known that this was coming because I haven't spoken to Ebony much, but in the interactions we've had, all she really wants is just respect. That's all. And if you're respectful to her, she's not going to blow you up. But there's a lot of people that had energy towards her in private that was different to the energy they had towards her in public, and they'll get outed.
Yeah, no, it is. That's what's happening, and it's coming. But hey ho, she's running around in a G-string and whatever other outfits at these weigh-ins and all that. She knew exactly what she was doing, right? And all these weak ones that were like, oh, tongue hanging out and all that, and all these YouTubers, they all bigged her up and they gave her a moment, and they were forgetting people like Savannah Marshall, Chantel Cameron, Natasha Jonas, all them girls that put the hard yards in. They let this girl come over here, and she took over all the social media, and they never got a look in. But now that what's happened, she just ended up basically just some scrubber. That's the bottom line. Isn't she just a dirty little scrubber from Australia? That's the bottom line. I know that sounds harsh, but I'm a harsh person, I'm afraid. I don't know. What do you think, Tel?
Um, I think a lot of men facilitated that. I can never blame Ebony Bridges for anything she's done here, because it was up to the men involved to behave with more dignity. They chose not to. So I don't feel sorry for them. I hope she buries all of them. I really do.
Yeah.
I hope she buries. Yeah, I hope she buries every one of those. We nearly said it. I hope she buries every one of them that was in the DMs offering her the world, saying, "Yeah, come and train with me. Look, I can work on this. I can work on that." When she got to the gym, man were trying to rub themselves up on her and all sorts. No. I can't call her a scrubber because there are a lot of lecherous, pervy guys, and she should name and shame them, all of them.
Well, do you reckon Bombay Dave will be sweating?
Well, because he turned the heating up in his boxers.
Bombay Dave, are you sweating like a pig?
Mate, I don't know. I can't speak to people like Dave Cole. All I can say is if Ebony decides to go nuclear, it's going to get rough for a lot of people in boxing, because they were behaving like rats. And there are people who are known for it in boxing. Like, allegedly, Danny Flexen is a sex pest. That's an allegation that he's regularly perving on women in boxing. He's a sex pest. That's the allegation.
He's into women bodybuilder types, though, isn't he? Him?
Could be into being dominated. I don't know.
I don't know. That's what somebody said on he's into women bodybuilders, Flexen. I mean,
but he's always been into like fitness, because that's how he started out, isn't it? He was like a fitness sort of, he'd have like a fitness TV show or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of those guys. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that definitively that's what Flexen is. I'm just saying people have sent me screen grabs of Danny Flexen in their DMs. There's a lot of sex pests in boxing. A lot of them.
Well, she's the type to bring them all down. Ain't she? Not bat an eyelid.
But I'll say, but back to your question about women's boxing. This is what happened with women's boxing, Russ. We built these profiles for these women boxers like Tasha Jonas, Katie Taylor, etc. But it was hard to make the economics of it match that.
Yeah.
So unless you're on a Saudi card, putting on like Jonas versus Katie Taylor, no one wants that on their balance sheet, because it's not going to do the sales. Everyone got spooked. You know when Sky did Shields versus Marshall, they did the all-female card, right?
Yeah.
Gave away like 80% of the tickets. Just couldn't sell them, right? Just give them away to sponsors and partners.
Yeah.
So once you see that, you're like, there's no future in this. Because women don't want to watch other women box. Forget anything else. That showed it. Women don't want to watch other women box, but women want to watch men box, because that's our primeval thing, right? Because that's how we judge men. We judge men by their capacity to fight, to protect, and their capacity to secure resources. That's how men are judged. Women are not judged that way. So it's not a compelling spectacle to watch them do that, because it's like, well, what does that really mean?
Yeah. Interesting. The Conor Benn issue, the verdict should have been, is it Tuesday today? It was supposed to be yesterday, wasn't it? The verdict. It was originally
Yeah.
Friday. Now it should have been yesterday. We still haven't heard anything because they were waiting on that verdict. Spotty Frank said, "Did he well?" It just seems to be going on and on and on and on and on. When's it going to be put to an end? This.
I think I tweeted this the other day, Russ. Paul Pogba's played football, failed a drugs test, been banned, and will kick a football before Conor Benn's in a British ring.
Yeah.
That's how mad it is, right? That like Pogba's managed to do all of this and sort it out in like, I don't know, 14 months.
Oh,
And
has he got his ban reduced?
yeah, so he can train again from January and he can play again from March.
It's just like him having an 18-month injury, isn't it? But he's had no injury. He's just been ticking over. He just hasn't had the games, has he? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll have been keeping himself fit, won't he?
Yeah, but I think he's trying to get out of Juventus now, find another club.
Will they take him on another club?
Why not? Paul Pogba, I would.
Yeah, he can play, can't he?
Oh, mate, like, no, is there a better passer of the ball than Paul Pogba? Like, in terms of just breaking defenses open? Nah, I find it hard to believe.
Who's going to
The
win
very
Premier
player
League?
Man United need.
Who's going to win Premier League?
Mate, it feels like City are going to win it. Well, they got their first victory yesterday in the court case, right?
Yeah, did they?
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. Let's see how the rest of the 115 charges go.
Yeah, no, from Rico.
I sent me a message earlier. But yeah, he's all right.
Rico.
Hey,
Hey, we love Rico, don't we?
yeah.
Have you heard out from Martin and Andy?
Yeah, his message. Yeah, we'll message him this weekend. Martin's lad had his first amateur bout.
Martin's lad, is he? Oh, that's good, isn't it? How old is he?
Yeah. I don't know, 14, 15.
He got 3 kids, Martin.
Yeah, 3 or 4. I don't know. Yeah, I don't keep count anymore.
Well, that's good, isn't it? And obviously his dad will have been there on day, won't he?
Yeah, kid's good.
He'll
Kid's
have been
really,
proud as
really
punch,
good.
Martin, won't he?
Yeah, 100%.
Good luck, Martin, with that, and good luck to your lad. Are they going to be doing a no age pod thing again? You think?
I think we've all kind of moved away from that. Like, we're still mates.
Yeah, I know, but it's nice every now and then just to do a yearly one, isn't it, Terry? Do you think?
Yeah, we might do. Maybe. We haven't actually discussed it, but yeah, anything's possible.
All right. Dylan White and Derek Chisora, they're pushing it, aren't they, again? Do you think that'll happen? They're talking Feb, aren't they? As a chief support on a big show. So I'm assuming that'll be a Bricktop and Eddie Hill's show, and that'll be chief support. So there'll be a biggie on that. That could be the Joshua Dubois one. Do you think?
Or could be a 5v5.
Could be a 5v5. Yeah, but Dylan's one of Eddie's, isn't it? Derek, well, they're both Eddie's, aren't they? Them. They could soon sort that out because they're both. Dylan's more or less Eddie's, isn't it? Derek's more or less started with Bricktop, didn't he? But they sort it out, wouldn't they? Would you want to see that? Derek's 41. Dylan's not a spring chicken.
If they can both stand up, then it'll be an entertaining enough fight. And so the thing is, Russ, what do we want? Do we want these climbing the ladder fights, or do we want entertaining fights?
Mm. Well, it's just like Conor Benn and Chris Eubank. Do we want to see that, Terry?
I personally don't, because of the drug cheating and the disrespect that Conor's shown to basically boxing fans, right?
Well, he's told 7
like,
different stories, hasn't he?
Yeah, so mate, you failed 2 tests, and at no point have you told boxing fans you failed 2 tests and you're sorry.
In 2.5 years.
Yeah, he'd have been boxing by now if he'd done that.
Well, do you think they just can't bring themselves to admit it and move on?
I think it's about being wrong and strong, isn't it? Like, I'm just not giving an inch to anyone ever.
Mm. Yeah. I just think it is dragged on that much that he's not become relevant anymore, has he? But they're trying to stay mix, aren't they, for that Saudi lolly?
Ben's not relevant now, right? Because
How is
he
he
hasn't
box
been.
rec #2, Terry, at welterweight when he hadn't fought at welterweight for 2.5 years?
Uh, honestly, there's just no talent at welterweight. That's the problem.
I know.
There's just boots. Everyone's gone. Garcia's moved up and he's retired now, I think. Spencer's going to move up. Crawford's moved up. Porter's retired. Thurman will move up to 154. And then who's there? There's Boots. And then who else would you really want to see at 147? I'm surprised Josh Taylor hasn't moved
Josh
up.
Taylor.
Yeah, move Josh Taylor up to 147.
Has he signed for Eddie Hills or is it still in negotiation?
I have no idea. I hope he doesn't. He may as well just go with Shalom.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Josh Taylor because at one point he was on everybody's lips, wasn't he?
Well, we forget he was undisputed.
I know. He never really got his kudos, did he? Really?
Do you know what happened with that?
No.
It just turned out. I think it's a bit like Terence Crawford when he won it. It just turned out those guys were maybe not as good as we thought.
Yeah. Do you think Tony Bellew will come back?
Nah.
No.
Nah. I think you know what it is, Russ. You get to a certain age, and no matter how strong you feel, no matter how much running you do, you take that first shot, and it feels different to how it did at 25. You're like, nah, not going through that.
What is happening with Zhang, Terry, and Joe Joyce now, and Dylan White? Them three.
I'd throw Bukoli into that mix and say you're going to get 2 out of those 4 doing something.
Joe Parker.
I think Parker's there for like the loser of Usyk versus Fury. That's what Parker's there for.
What did you think to the Shane Fury coming out, going on about if Tyson fights Usyk again? If do you think they're already trying mind games in Usyk?
No, I think it's true. Like, does Tyson Fury really want to do this?
Interesting. Well, if he does, and he don't put any effort in, he'll come out swinging, won't he, in round 1? Do you think? Try and catch him cold.
Yeah, and I'll just say he beat a small man. You know what I'm like.
What, copy my one-liners? What if he wins, you mean?
Yeah. I think Fury's in a tough position because for the first half of that fight, he got the tactics right. He just couldn't close the show. And unless he finds a way to close the show in Usyk, you're not going to outpoint Usyk. It's just, nah, you're not.
What about Arum? Bob Arum's now watched Fury versus Usyk and watched it several times, and he's come out and he's give it to Fury by a round.
Fury got dropped for God's
Father.
sake.
He's always there or thereabouts, isn't he? The Bob Father.
The new Don King.
Do you know what he should be doing now, Bob Arum, the Bob Father? He should be sat in his Shackleton's high seat chair at home with a tub next to him, a Tupperware tub full of really strong skunk, some big Rizzlers, and a good packet of fags, silk cut ultra low, and a good big lighter. He should be sat there like that, reminiscing on a great career at age 93. But he ain't, is he? He's always trying to ruffle feathers and let rip, innit?
But I like that, Russ, because he still
Yeah.
loves the game. Yeah, he loves the game. Imagine being that old and still loving the game. You already have the money. You don't need the money, but you just love boxing and you love beefing with people.
Beefing?
Yeah, he loves it.
Speaking of beefing, what do you think to these titles on YouTube? Every video is brutally honest or intense beef. Why can't they change it?
Raw, uncut.
Yeah, why can't they change it to brutally dishonest and I don't know, beef Wellington or something? Or funny pheasant. I don't know.
You know what happens, Russ? They read these internet guides on how to get engagement on their videos and they write these stupid titles.
I don't know. You know what I was thinking about earlier today? Crawford Ashley.
Tough man.
From that era, Crawford Ashley and Nick Manners, all them lads, from that Leeds area, who put the time in and that. Look at Crawford and that. He fought Michael Nunn for 17 grand. Michael's second to none on a Don King show, and he fought Virgil Hill on a Don King show for buttons as well. And he got shafted on that one. I was thinking about that Crawford, thinking what would have been if he'd have done Virgil Hill and he got that British Commonwealth European and the world champion, wouldn't he? Instead of having to do it the hard way. You know what I mean? Whereas nowadays they're just giving him titles via email, aren't they? They're giving him world titles via email now, aren't they?
Mate, boxing's it's in a really dark place at the moment. I don't know how we fix it.
Boaz is going to be upgraded to WBO champion probably this time next week if them belts scatter. But he won't have took the belt off Viterbia. So will Boaz be known as a paper champ? Yes or no?
He will until he gets a legitimate defense. Like Dubois.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. It is what it is, isn't it? It's yeah, it is what it is. Who's top of the tree at the moment in UK promoting?
Probably Porky Rust.
I'm on about boxing, Terry, not YouTube.
Trying to think. Commercially, you got to say Frank because he's got the Saudi link up. But if you look at stables, you got to give Ben Shalom some credit, Russ. He's got cruiserweight sewn up, right? So if you want any cruiserweight action, you got to call Ben. And in this country, he's got light heavyweight sewn up as well. So if you want real light heavyweight action, you got to call Ben. So what's he got at light heavy? He's got Boatsi, Yard, Aziz, Whitaker, and then you can drop down a level and get guys like Louis Edmondson, etc. So he's pretty solid there. And look at what he's got at cruiserweight. Okoli, Riakpo, Massey, Willem Smith, Chamberlain, Fidel Riley, young Scott Forrester's there as well. There's a fair few of them. He's got two really solid divisions he controls. And then he's got a couple of wild cards in Eubank and Bacoli. So Ben's coming up those rankings real fast, man. Like, don't sleep on Ben Shalom.
Sonny Edwards and Yafai, they're going to go at it November. Who you got?
I've got Sonny Edwards. I think that's a great fight because you can't recreate the needle that comes from the amateurs. You can't recreate the injustice Sonny Edwards feels when he's like, I was better than Yafai. Why am I not an Olympian?
Didn't he turn him on his head with amateurs, Sonny?
So he beat everyone. Like, you can't explain how dominant Sonny was at that kind of 48, 51 range. Nah, he played with people. He played with really good people. He played with guys who, in other scenarios, would have been Olympians. He played with them. So,
yeah,
can you fight? I think it's a hard ask to do anything to Sonny Edwards, if I'm being honest.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we? Former world champion against Olympic gold. They're going to go at it in Birmingham. So
yeah, it'd be a good fight. That would actually be a good fight. I know people assume I dislike Sonny Edwards, but I just call it like I see it. I think at this level, he's light years ahead of whoever's second place to him. He's light years ahead of them.
What's happening with John Pilata, Terry?
That's a good question. I need to ring him tonight. He's got business interests, right? So he's asking himself, do I need to box?
Mm.
And sometimes when you ask that, you're almost answering your own question.
Yeah.
But I don't know where his head's at. JP's chilling. Courtney Benn is fighting for the Southern area next week. So that's going to be stressful for me, but I wish him all the best. I think he beats Nick Webb. I think, mate, it's ballsy, right? What's that? His 7th or 8th fight, he's fighting Southern area.
Yeah.
That's ballsy.
Interesting, that, isn't it?
Yeah. But one of the things I always said to him was, if you back your skills, no one should be able to beat you.
No one should be able to.
That's the point. Skills and discipline are so important. Like, especially in the heavyweight division, because most heavyweights, it's just a 1-2, a left hook if you're lucky. If you can handle those 3 punches against a heavyweight and you can come back with some good work rate and some good power, Usyk's showing, right? Usyk is showing how basic heavyweight boxing is, and that if you can add just even half an extra dimension to what you do, you've got them confused. Even the supposed greatest one, Fury Power.
Wow. Okie dokie. Diet. We'll finish off on this, Terry. Diet. I know. I'm just having a little think about something then. Somebody asked
Mate, you did a Joe Joyce.
I did a what? A Joe
You
Joyce.
did a Joe Joyce.
Yeah, sleep caught up on me. Right, dieting. Somebody asked me the other day, what's the perfect breakfast for a boxer? And I just said, well, boxers get up in the morning, they do the run on an empty stomach, and then they come back and they have like frotch, porridge, and blueberries and that. What do you think is the best breakfast for a boxer? Some prefer just to cook 2 slices of toast and a cup of tea, like Calzaghe, don't they? Some prefer scrambled eggs with no toast and black coffee, but the main popular one's porridge, isn't it? Which you prefer?
So, so porridge isn't the one for me. I think that's a bit of an anachronism. You definitely want eggs, just for the variety they bring. So for me, I'd have eggs in there, definitely. Depending on your dietary choices, a source of protein. Like if I was training to get fit now, that would be my breakfast. I'd have a couple of eggs. I might boil or poach them, and then probably a couple of burgers in there. That'd do me nicely. Maybe even scrambled eggs, and then just some fruit. I'd probably eat more in the morning than I would in the evening, just so I've got that kind of slow release energy all through the day.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. What I'm going to do now, we'll wrap this up.
You're gonna have a nap.
No, I'm not going to have a nap. I've been and done my run this morning. I've trained as well when I come back, and I'm absolutely shattered. But I've got Chris here, haven't I? And every couple of hours they want like a cup of tea and whatnot. So I'm going to sort him
Mate,
out.
you're gonna get him on the channel while you've got him there.
Chris, there ain't enough minutes left. Well, I'll get him. I'll run downstairs then. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. We've got enough power on it. Haven't I? Chris!
Where's the B sample?
The B sample. I don't know if he's in here. Oh, they're through here. Hang on a minute. Chris! Chris! Turn radio off! Otherwise I'll get done for copyright, won't
I? Turn radio off, man.
Oh, hang on. Is he turning it over? Off! Oh, go on, yeah. Terry, do you want to say hello? Let's say hello, it's Terry.
All right, Terry.
You all right, mate? Sheffield's greatest trainer. I'm good, mate. How are you?
All right, mate. Not too bad.
I'm hearing the gym's doing good now.
Yeah, we've got... There's been a big cock-up again with ABA, though. You know these new QR codes?
Oh, where you got to do it all on the vault, yeah.
Well, it's not the vault. It's called the locker now.
Oh, that's the, yeah.
And basically what you do, obviously you send all your medical cards to your registrar.
Yeah.
Well, Renetta, who works so hard, she's had over 3,000 cards. So England Boxing says, look, obviously we'll help you. So she's obviously sent some to them. And all it's to do, download the records.
Yeah.
So we've got the QR code, but no records. And well, basically what's happened then, we got a phone call. We were boxing Saturday in pre-quarterfinals, Sunny Hills, and we got a phone call saying, "Oi, you're not boxing. England Boxing haven't downloaded record." So we still travelled to Chester, weighed in, and anyway, they didn't let us box, so we went down to England Boxing. and now they've downloaded it. So I think it goes to some sort of meeting because Salisbury Club, they didn't want to box. They said, no, if you're not boxing today, that's it. So, well, if you're a boxing person, you'd want your kid to box, wouldn't you?
100%. But you know, some of these clubs, Chris, some of these, especially these newer coaches, they're just trying to get cheap medals, aren't they? So if they can sneak through without fighting, they'll take it.
Well, 30 seconds, Chris.
So anyway,
sorry, 30 seconds. Yeah,
nice chatting to you, Terry.
I'll get you on phone, Terry, in a bit, yeah, when we're done, yeah?
Yeah.
Back to work, Terry. Back to work, man.
All right, Terry.
Take care, mate.
Well, I'll see you, mate.
See you later.
Bye. Oh, Terry, women love him. Men want to be him. Pop, bang. We'll get him on again. Go on, peace out.